Y'all, Sarah Boone had her first pro se surprise hearing, and it went as you would expect. We're going to talk about it today. Hello, Sofa Squad, and welcome back to the sofa. Today we are revisiting the Sarah, the Boone, the case. Y'all, Sarah was abruptly woken up at some god-awful hour and whisked off to court for her first pro se hearing. And she was bothered, okay? Now, if you are unaware of what this case is and whatnot, well, then you must be new to the channel because we've been talking about it for a minute. But Sarah Boone is on trial. Well, let me rephrase that. We're hoping to eventually get to trial eventually. So she is being held in custody for allegedly taking the life of her late boyfriend at this point, George, by putting him in a suitcase, ignoring his pleas for help, and he suffocated. She has basically just exploited the court system and dragged this out for years. Recently, the judge finally was like, okay, you know what? You're going to have to represent yourself because we've gone through so many lawyers. So that's where we're at. So that's the 60-second overview. This is not meant to be a deep dive. We are specifically talking about this hearing today. And the way we will discuss it is by watching clips of her in that, and I'll make commentary along the way. We did a live chat on the other channel of this, so there's that vibe over there if you want to see it. Links in the description. And don't forget to give the old scary movie review channel a follow too if you're into that stuff. Links down below. Now let's go on and get into this scary movie, The Suitcase, the Sarah. Let's get that first clip going. Now I just put that first clip up there, y'all, because you see just just bothered. Like she had an appointment at the damn salon, right? Okay, that we had yanked her from. Let's keep going.
I received your letter, ma'am, and I have reviewed it. We have not forgotten about you. It's just taken some time in order to coordinate the appropriate processes with the jail. In conversations with the jail, a laptop has been secured and will be issued to you after USB drives are provided with all the discovery.
Okay, first of all, listen to the judge. Very professional, very nice, very courteous, very everything. They're giving her a laptop. They're doing the USB drives with all the discovery. Now, if you've been following this, you'll know she's been begging and pleading and griping and complaining to get her discovery. This has been a huge thing this whole time, okay? So D-Day is here. Discovery Day, right? They've got it in the boxes there. Obviously, she is being held. She's incarcerated. You have to operate around some rules and regulations that the jail sets forth, right? The court doesn't really have a control over that. I'm just saying that to keep that in mind as we go forward, to watch her demeanor, to watch her attitude once it's like, bam, Sarah, here's what you wanted. What do you have to say?
Upon the jail's receipt of those items, the following provisions will be adhered to. The laptop, charging cable, and USB devices will be kept in the FDC main control room when not in use. At no time will the charging cord be placed in the housing unit. Upon the return of the laptop to the FDC main control, the laptop will be placed on the charging cable to ensure it is available for the next day's usage. The laptop and USB device is to be accounted for with the control room inventory. The control room DST or CO will make logbook entries for the issuing and returning the USB device and laptop. The dorm officer will make logbook entries for the receiving and returning of these items to the applicable movement officer. A notebook entry will be completed in IMS for every issuance of the laptop and USB device to inmate Boone. The laptop and USB device will be available daily to you, Ms. Boone, between 0800 and 1600 hours. A notebook entry will be completed in IMS for every issuance of the laptop and USB device to yourself, Ms. Boone.
Alrighty. Okay, so first of all, he's, again, just laying out what the jail has provided, right? This is standard protocol right here, y'all. Of course they're not going to let her have this stuff. A cord in the unit, please, right? They're going to make everything very documented, very regimented. At this hour, 0100, whatever, Sarah took this out and did this, and it was returned at this time. This is just how it works, right? Now, again, my attitude about this is this. You're going to hear some of it come up where it's like, and you'll hear me say like, yeah, I get it. I would want that too. However, it's like, girl, you're incarcerated. And honestly, if you don't want to go by those rules, then bond out. Well, we already know she can't do that, right? But it is what it is. She still comes from the perspective through the lens of the viewpoint of, I've done nothing wrong. I am being held for no reason. I should be out or whatever the case is, right? That's the lens that she comes through, and that's why there's this complete disconnect of like, what are you talking about? Like, have you not seen the video that you recorded? Okay, so just keep these things in mind as we proceed forward and you start to hear her reaction to some of these rules and whatnot. Now, also, I forgot to mention the audio in this. I have gotten this turned up as much as I possibly could. So when there is no microphone on Sarah in court, you are probably going to either need to turn your device up for this or listen with earbuds, because it is very quiet when she talks. So just know that. I apologize, but that's the feed that I got the video from, right? From the courtroom thing or whatever. It's not much changing that. So just know to either put earbuds in or just turn your device up, and you might have to like turn it back down when it comes to the thing, whatever. Just make it work however works for you.
I am thoroughly confused. Was a notice ever put online for this or mailed to anyone? I don't even know why Mr. Lane is here. I don't know why I'm here.
Well, ma'am, you are now representing yourself, and previously you had requested to appear at every hearing that was held. As you are now representing yourself, the court cannot have any hearings regarding your case without you being here. I put on the record and explained to you the process that the court has had with communications with the jail. I'm not allowed to look at any of that. I'm not allowed to copy any of that. So in speaking with the jail and understanding that you still have a private investigator that was provided to you through the state that's being compensated by the state, you're still allowed to utilize his services. The protections of the attorney-client privilege are still applicable to him, so he's able to review any of these documents, ensure that they are safely copied without violating any terms of the privileges.
Okay, so here's the thing. So what she said in the beginning was basically, hey, I didn't even know, like, why are we here? I was never given notice. Why is he here? What's going on? And you hear the judge explain to her, since you're representing yourself now, you have to be here for all of these. There's a lot of this stuff that would go on that she probably didn't need to be there for, but that now she's going to be there for all of them. But again, instead of, oh, wow, great, I get my discovery, we're in, well, I need notice that this is what's going on here. I don't understand why am I here? Let me complain about every step of the way. And again, it's just like, you know, girl, what more do you want? Like, do you want the judge to show up at the jail and knock on your cell and take your hand and take you down to the thing in his car? It's not going to happen.
Okay. My question is, was a notice of hearing posted or mailed to anyone to where apparently the news crews obviously got it? How is it that I do not know anything about this other than my bunk being kicked at 3 o'clock in the morning telling me I have court?
Ma'am, I have no other way to get in touch with you other than setting the hearing, which was set yesterday once I received confirmation from the jail as to the processes for how this would work. And I understand that your case is important, and I want to move it as efficiently, as diligently as possible. I know that you've been waiting for this information, and it took some time to confirm the process with the jail. You've advised me that you have very limited space, you have almost no privacy, you have a small drawer where you can keep some personal effects. We could not send all of those boxes with you to the jail, and the jail advised me that they cannot take all those boxes. A process had to be created to make sure, and this is the process.
Wow, so you heard my bunk getting kicked at 3 in the morning. So ungrateful. And I get, you know, she's being held captive in her world. So of course she's not going to be like, oh, thank you, judge. You know, I understand that, right? But not happy with anything. I think I said this in the live chat. You could bring her a bushel of money, $1 million and $100 bills, and she'd bitch that they weren't in 20s. I mean, that's the kind of person you're dealing with here. Now, again, there's a little bit of, it's like her gimmick, her thing, her angle, to be difficult, to be argumentative each step of the way. You know, she's probably wanted to thwart the system to get an appeal of this or that or whatever. Now, also, one thing that I find with these defendants who end up representing themselves, I'm thinking of Daryl Brooks, they will latch on to certain meanings. Like, so far, hers is notice of hearing. She loves notice of hearing, right? Daryl Brooks, his was something jurisdiction. I can't remember what the thing was, but I think jurisdiction was in it. That literally, by the time that trial was over, y'all, we were all like, Come on, right? Don't ever even say that word to me again, right? But they'll latch onto these things. Now, one thing also to keep in mind as we watch this is you will begin to see Sarah's ignorance as to the law. Do I expect her to be, educated on it? No, right? I get it. She's not. But you'll hear where it's like, okay, this is called a continuance, and you're firing off all these things, so fire off a hearing for a continuance or this or that. This is what you run into when you end up representing yourself. Also notice how she talks about the media. With the media, she always wants to bring up how the media, my fans, my this. She's very enamored in this attention. She absolutely loves and thrives in this attention because it's probably the most attention she's ever gotten in her life.
The process that I was explaining after speaking to a couple of sergeants, and I've been waiting for that, and I would much rather prefer a hard copy of these to where I can write on them as opposed to anything that's on a laptop.
I am unable to provide that for you. I have been provided the process has been provided to me by the Orange County Jail. I understand that's your preference, but I can't do anything more than what I've done right now.
I understand. And I have had other information given to me, which is why I've been waiting for the boxes for them. So I don't know, is this something that I need to pursue continuously still for me to be able to receive my hard copies? Because no one tells me anything.
I cannot answer that question because that may call for me providing you legal advice, which I am prohibited from doing.
She got what she wanted. She got what she wanted, and she is basking in it. Now, here's the thing. I will side with Sarah. Personal preference, I would rather have hard copies too. I get that, right? 100% I would rather be able to go physically touch the papers, make notes on them, that type of stuff. I get it, girl, right? But 100% get this. They can't give her all these boxes, okay? They're going to have to do the thing. So she's going to have to find a way to go through it in that way. Now, you heard her, I don't know anything. Well, and I get that frustration because she's probably the last person to be part of it. She is incarcerated, so they're viewing it like, we know where you're at. We know you're not going anywhere. You're going to be summoned here when we summon you. The jail's going to bring you over, and you're going to kind of have to go along with it. So I understand also that moving forward, and you'll hear this as we go, yes, she's representing herself. She needs to know that there's going to be a court date so that she can be prepared for it, and that is only fair, and I'll side with her on that. And it sounds like going forward after this hearing we're watching now, that the judge is going to make sure that that kind of stuff happens, hopefully. Now, again, did I think that will make her not complain about stuff? Oh, absolutely not. She'll find something more to complain about as well.
I guess I will figure that out, because if I'm up at 2 o'clock in the morning, I can't utilize the laptop, which is another reason why I was looking forward to the hard copies. So my other question is my time prorated for the time that I've been waiting for my discovery?
I'm not sure I understand what that means.
Will I be having additional time added, or will it be extended from the time period of me waiting for my discovery still?
I'm not in a position to answer that question. I don't know what it is that you're asking for.
My pretrial is supposedly set for September 24th, I believe it is. So obviously I will not be prepared, and obviously I do not know what I'm doing, and obviously I'm still waiting for my discovery. So for that time period that I have been waiting for almost 4 weeks now, will that be added to the time frame in order for me to be properly prepared?
As of right now, the dates are what the dates are, ma'am.
Okay, so I just miss a month.
The dates are what the dates are.
Okay, this is what I was talking about earlier. This is called a continuance. So you're going to have to file for a continuance. That's 100% what I would be doing if I was her. And within reason. I know it's gone on for years, but because now she is the one doing it's all up to her. I 100% get where I'm like, yeah, I would need some time to go through this stuff. I also 100% get what she's saying. Like, if I'm up at 2 a.m, it's almost like she's going to have to keep business hours with the laptop that they gave her. I mean, it is what it is, right? So that's why I 100% would be asking for a continuance. And I have no doubt that the judge would probably give it to her. And he probably, this is my train of thought, he's probably pushing this forward to put a fire under her butt, to be like, let's go, come on, this has gone on for years, right? You've dragged this out, it's time to go. Or he could just be like, no, you know what, ain't no continuance, you can just get it on appeal, like, we're done with this, you've clogged this system up for years, no, we're done. Because again, at the heart of it, and I'm not trying to sit here and convict her before the trial, but I'm sorry, you can't, that video is really, really bad, okay? Really, really bad. One of the things I'd be fine with her is to talk to the prosecution to see if they would cut me a deal. At this point, that's literally what I would be doing. So let's keep going.
So I also sent you, I believe, 5 motions. Have you received those?
No, ma'am, I have not.
They were mailed last week.
Then I have not received them yet. The last correspondence I got from you, ma'am, was received on July 8th.
Okay. 5 motions I've mailed. They're probably sitting wherever else it is, considering it takes a day for you all to receive my mail, considering I'm right down the street from you all. So I have those also in order, which may change whatever information or anything that I'm trying to acquire in between now, the month less that I have in order to prepare for my trial. That's in October. So if you could keep an eye out for those also. I don't know who I'm supposed to ask. How did Mr. Lane come into any of this? Like, how was he called?
Mr. Lane has been your investigator in this case, and he was advised to attend this morning's hearing by virtue of being provided the discovery in order to digitize it so that you can have access to it.
The court contacted him?
I did not contact him.
Okay, one thing, so you heard all the little digs she takes. Well, it takes a day to receive the mail, even though I'm right down the road. And then, the month in October and blah, 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 blah. But also her train of thought is like fragmented. And so it makes more sense hearing her now with her letters because the tone has changed from the beginning, right? She seems a little bit more incoherent and jumping all over the place, but nonetheless, these littered insults put in there and whatnot. Now, she's very obsessed with how everybody else found out about this before she did or even over her. She's very obsessed with that dynamic of this. And like, she won't let it go. And so I can only imagine that when she was working with the lawyers and they were trying to move the case forward, and she's way back here on day 1 talking about why do we put the paper clip on the left-hand side of the paper? And it's like, that is so completely irrelevant at this point. And the fact that you're trying to dig your heels in over that, it's, we can't move on. We have to get past that. It doesn't matter how Mr. Lane was called in there. He's there. He's there on your behalf. Let's move it forward. You got your discovery. Let's go forward. But she's so focused on making this completely difficult the entire stretch of the way. And she's her own worst enemy.
Am I allowed to speak to him directly?
You can?
Mr. Lane, who contacted you in order for you to be here, please?
The JA contacted me.
If I'm pro se and my own attorney, shouldn't I be included in all of this so I know what's going on and not a surprise hearing like it is again for the second time?
Ma'am, again, this is why there were benefits to being represented by counsel. The court has already identified in its 16-page order the reasons for why you no longer have those benefits.
I mean, he told her real quick how that was going to be. Now, again, I'm not trying to make this like a pro Sarah video, but I'm just looking at both sides of the fence. I get what she's saying, where it's like, shouldn't I be included in on this? I mean, I get it, right? It's like, yeah, you should probably know this, but at the end of the day, some of this stuff, it's like you had a benefit. You're incarcerated. Okay, it's going to make this 10 times more difficult. You're not going to have access to the same stuff. It's like, it's not as easy. I understand what the judge is saying. I get where she's coming from. Like, I want to know about this stuff. I totally get it. But it's like, girl, this is why you should have worked with your attorneys instead of pushing them away.
Right. Which
It
is
makes things
malformed.
exceptionally more difficult, as I explained to you, in communicating with the court and communicating with the state attorney's office.
Isn't that what a certificate of service is for anything that's filed by anybody in the court?
There
That
was,
should be included in that.
ma'am, there was no certificate of service for setting this for today. This was coordinated by the JA. You were advised as soon as it was set yesterday.
It's just very odd to me that the news knew about it before I did.
Again, I can't speak to that.
And so nonetheless, my constitutional right to counsel is being forfeited on your behalf in the court. So now I don't get appropriate notice in preparation for me to be able to be here and doing what I'm supposed to be doing and act as and perform as?
I've already addressed the reasons, ma'am, for why there was a forfeiture and alternatively a waiver in the 16-page order that you were provided. Again, it's difficult to communicate with you based on where your current housing is. I'm not able to pick up the phone. The judicial assistant's not able to pick up the phone to communicate with you or send you an email to schedule certain things. And it leaves a little bit of a level of further complication.
She definitely knows how to throw all these words out, to perform as and be as and this as and blah, 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 blah. And I can't do this. And again, you hear the judge. This is where she's going to get a taste of karma, really, because she's sitting here asking these things. And it's like, I explained this to you in the 16-page thing. We're moving on. Okay, we're not going to hang out here. We're moving way past this. Yes, I get this. But again, it's the same thing as like when she did the police interviews and she continually would not leave the fact of, but it wasn't unintentional, not intentional. And the cops are like, it doesn't matter. George is still dead. The evidence speaks for itself. And she wouldn't move past that. And the same thing continues to go every step of the way, where she's so fixated on this one dynamic. And it's like, you are incarcerated. You've pushed all your attorneys away, and now you have to unfortunately work this way. And it's not going to be easy. The judge is being very transparent about the difficulties that this brings up. You know, and she's also, again, so focused on the media and the media being there. And this is just part of it. But again, I think she likes that attention because I'm sure she gets money on her books from people. I'm sure she gets all sorts of little benefits to being out front and center, aside from like maybe a validation or the attention part of it.
No one ever asks me. I've been waiting for the boxes. I really don't know what to say, and because I supposedly have no way to contact you other than a letter, and the same for you, I don't know how the news crews got here before I did. But I don't know, going forward, how is it that I'm supposed to be able to communicate with you other than me sitting here in front of you at these, I guess, supposed surprise hearings that I'm going to have every single time that it is that you would like to speak to me? Is that what it's going to be?
Ma'am, I cannot answer that question. All I can tell you is that you can communicate with the court through the avenues that you've been utilizing previously, by and through letter writing. As I said, I do not have your letters that you sent last week. They're not in the court file, and they were not in my inbox yesterday.
Again, the media, the this, the that, I'm never going to be notified, I'm never going to be this, I'm never going to be that. You know, I don't know what to tell her. And like part of it, so I'm sitting here thinking like devil's advocate or whatever. And it's like, okay, so if she just shows up and she's like going to court, she needs to know like, what is this over? I need my notes. I need this, because you know she's going to have like a huge thing at one point. So it'd almost be like, okay, once I get here, I need to be able to organize myself, this, that, and the other, or whatever, right? So, I mean, I get the frustrating part, but it's just, she's done it to herself. That's the key word here. She's done this to herself, and now she's seeing what it's like to represent herself.
So as soon as I receive them, I will diligently review them, and if we have to set a hearing, you'll be properly noticed for it.
In the certificate of service?
You'll be properly noticed for it, yes, ma'am.
And will there be a proper notice for today?
Notice was performed last night. I've already explained.
Ask the news crews how they got here?
No, ma'am, I'm not going to let you do that. They're not under oath. They're not a party to this action right now.
It's wrong and it's unfair.
You certainly entitled to that opinion.
Am I allowed to ask him a question?
Sure, go ahead.
Mr. Lane, how is it that you and I are supposed to be speaking to one another?
So my suggestion would be, since you're now the attorney and you are pro se, that either you or your honor gives me access to the jail to come visit with you, and I will be happy to do that. It is the policy of the Orange County Jail to have a letter representing from an attorney to allow me to access you. That's the reason for the past previous couple of attorneys I've not had the ability to come out and access you, but that's changed. And I will be happy to continue to move forward with any investigative actions I can do for your defense, as long as I can get that access.
So you need a letter from me,
Or the judge, or the jail, somebody that will allow me access.
and I send it to you directly?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this a letter also that you'll be supplying to him?
Okay. Bless this man's heart. He's getting ready to get inundated. She's going to treat him like the lawyer. Now, if you're unable to hear that part or whatever, because again, he doesn't see, he's talking off microphone. He's basically saying, when she's like, how do I talk to you? He's like, you have to write a letter, or the judge or somebody, to giving me access to you. You know, now that it's changed, you're the attorney, like this is how it has to go. So she's basically like, okay, well, here you go. Now, earlier in that little segment, she said, talking about like, well, how is the media here? Can I talk to them? And the judge is like, no, they're not under oath. And she's like, it's not right and it's unfair. Again, she feels always very unfair, very unjust. Now, I'm marking my words that there will be some hearing at some point with this dude talking about she is treating me like one of the attorneys and I'm done.
I don't know that I'm in a position to compel the Orange County Jail to do anything.
But you all are the ones who contacted him.
But I can't tell the jail, let this person come talk to you. If they have a policy where you need to provide the letter, then you need to provide the letter.
So until you have that letter, you and I will not be able to speak with one another?
I will contact the jail myself and find out if there's an extension for pro se, or maybe they can speak to you directly to circumvent the actual letter itself.
Thank you.
Now, again, these kind of dynamics, because the next thing in my mind is I'm like, well, how do you know where to send it to? I mean, these are the difficult processes that it's going to take her time. And again, if the judge doesn't give her a continuance, yeah, she's going to be screwed, right? I mean, can you imagine being handed this caseload a month or two before trial? There's no way. I think he'll give her a continuance. But whatever it is, it's like, no questions asked. This is going to trial then, right? Now, the guy's being very nice, but again, she will abuse him 100%. She will abuse him in the whole situation.
Ma'am, do you have any other questions?
I don't think you have enough time. I'm just doing my best, and if you could please keep an eye out for my motions.
I will be on the lookout for them. You said there were 5, correct?
Yes.
I will
If
be
you
on-
could please include me on the certificate of service for whatever hearings that we have that are no longer a surprise for me, please.
Understood. You'll be given a copy of the court's order that I read momentarily, and I will see you both on August 5 at 8:45 in the morning. All right, thank you all very much. Mr. Cacciatore, anything further, sir?
Nothing from the state.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, so you heard her. I'm just doing my best. I'm just doing this or that. Be on the lookout, this and the other. So that whole dynamic, and I mean, and I get that she's doing her best and whatnot. I think that no one deserves this to be in this situation any more than she does. Okay, and it is what it is. Now, one thing I want to do coming up, so it's done with, right? What we're going to do is we're going to watch her body language for this, okay? And I'm just going to talk over it. So just know that I'm just going to I'm going to talk over it because you can't really hear what's going on. The beginning of it, the judge starts talking to something and she's telling the bailiff, well, hold on, wait a second. So that's the context, but just watch. Okay, so she's getting up. Now, this bailiff's over it, okay? So the bailiff's over here talking about, well, let's do this change. She's like, hold on one second. The bailiff's like, She's like, hold on. The bailiff said, She did her mouth. Now, here's some media. The bailiff's like, huh? What? Sarah's like, Sarah is tweaked, okay? I'm talking, they've got her on something. She's looking at that thing. She's like, all I know is that I'm unjustly here. I have no idea why I've been here. I'm just joking. I don't know what she's saying. It's so fascinating. Like, look at how intense she is and how smug. Okay, this is just me. And again, I'm no body language expert. Okay, y'all go on and turn on. We need, and I don't even know if he's done it yet, but has Deception Detective done a Sarah Boone video yet? We need this in our life, okay? Like 100%. Surely he's done it. I've watched so much stuff of his. I need to go back and look. But Deception Detective, look his channel up if you're into body language type stuff. We need, what are those bad lip reading videos? we need him to, number one, do this part of the video, but also do bad lip reading in addition to it, okay? Because I personally think that this is the same thing in her mind. She is thinking like she's Taylor Swift stopping at a group of fans outside her house to sign autographs. Like, this is the thing she's given. Like, I don't know, I've been unjustly this and that, and I don't know why I'm here, but I'm happy to answer your questions, you measly little media person. Now, also, if this is media, she probably is being like, how'd you get here? What happened? What went on? And that's it there. So, again, y'all, buckle up, okay? Where's the damn seatbelt? One of these damn seatbelts over here? Go on and get them buckled up because you're going to need it, okay? It's just going to get worse from here on out. Again, this is my prediction overall. I believe that the judge will give her a continuance, but that's going to be it. I think she's going to fight tooth and nail. We are going to be glued to the thing to get those motions and go over them. She is going to be firing these off completely. She's going to abuse the investigator that's supposed to get a letter to come see her. And she's just going to have a hard go at it. I think she is going to get the book thrown at her. And when she goes to trial, I think they're going to see right through her. And she's going to get the book thrown at her. And she's going to be like, oh my God. And then she's going to work on an appeal. Same thing we're seeing Daryl Brooks, right? Same thing. It's just par for the course. So anyways, let me know what you think down in the comment section. I do appreciate you watching if you are still here. If you clicked off a little bit ago, well, I appreciate you watching, but guess what? You're not here to hear it. But that's it. I love you guys. Drop it down in the comment. Let me know. And you know what? Put some sofas down there for me Roscoe in spirit to come down, talk about Sarah, all these other crazy things we talk about here at the Sofa Squad. And until we meander our way down there to do that, we'll see y'all soon. I just wanted to say thank you again for watching the whole video, and also thank you for being part of the Sofa Squad. Special thanks to all the Patreon members, channel members from both of my channels, everybody who likes, shares, subscribes, comments in the comment sections. It helps the channel out so much. Now, don't forget, I do have that other channel, the podcast channel. That's where we go live, we hang out, we talk. We have kind of sort of a schedule, but just be sure and check it out. I'll put it up here on the screen. Also, if you're looking for merch, be sure to check out my Teespring store. I'll put that up here. And then, like I said in the beginning of the video, if you want to follow me and Roscoe on the Instagram, go on, check it out. It's right here on the screen again. But once again, thank you very much. I really appreciate you being part of the Sofa Squad, and I'll see you in the next video.